My name is Nonat, and if you're like me, you don't read every single word of rulebooks, especially playtests. I know it sounds weird because it's my job to read these things, but I only read like the big parts, like classes and stuff. A lot of the intros and outros and flavor text sort of goes over my head, but there was a very important line of text in the War of Immortals playtest confirming that we will be getting Mythic rules for Pathfinder 2e. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what that means, back in Pathfinder First Edition, Mythic levels were actually special, honestly crazy overpowered abilities that were typically reserved for things past level 20, but some campaigns actually gave Mythic powers early in the campaign, most notably seen in the Wrath of the Righteous campaign and even the video game. These abilities were honestly insane, things like ignoring spell resistance, dealing bonus damage just permanently with certain specific effects, and honestly, they're garbage. I'm gonna be open about that. I think Pathfinder First Edition Mythic rules are absolute garbage because they throw the entire balance of the game out of whack, especially if given at low enough levels. But I've got some heavy hope for Pathfinder Second Edition's Mythic rules. First off, because the system itself is inherently better balanced. With the status, item, circumstance, bonus, penalty system, it's really hard to throw that balance out of whack. And also, Paizo has shown that they're going out of their way to avoid bonuses like +5 damage, +2 to hit. You know, aside from the weapon runes, potency and striking, you're hard pressed to find anything that's just, here, do 2d6 extra damage. And what keeps me confident is what they said in the playtest. They have confirmed that these new Mythic rules for Pathfinder 2e are not beyond level 20. These are not rules designed for characters to go absolutely insane universe-ending power. Rather, they are supposed to augment the characters in some way to make them more powerful than a character without mythic feats. But it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle that, and today I want to theory craft some of my ideas for what Mythic Pathfinder 2e could look like. Now, a few things. In the playtest, they said that a wide variety of classes and characters will be getting Mythic options. This to me reads as the core classes are getting Mythic options first, and then probably more classes down the line. They're probably not going to release Mythic options for every single class, because that would be its own book at the end of the day, and Paizo likes to release things in flavorful chunks. I hate the phrase flavorful chunks. So, let's go over the 12 core classes in Pathfinder 2e, at least as it stands, because Barbarian's going to become a Player Core 2 class, but that's its own can of worms. We're going to go over the 12 classes in the current Pathfinder 2e core rulebook and say what I think they could get for Mythic options. So I'm going to start by saying what I think Mythic is going to be. I think Mythic is going to be its own set of feats. Feats that can only be taken with a Mythic level up. Now, whether these level ups are going to be obtainable only at level 20 or earlier in the game as a separate progression system from your normal level ups, that remains to be seen. But I do think that when you get a Mythic level, you are going to get one feat. I think that's it. I don't even think you're going to get hit points. I don't think you're going to get any new class features, no new skill bumps or anything. I think a Mythic level lets you pick one Mythic or normal feat. So if you're level 20 and you gain a Mythic level, then if you want to, you can take another level 20 class feat or one of the Mythic feat options. Now, I do think these Mythic feats are going to be incredibly powerful, but like I said, they're not going to be deal double damage, have double this, have twice as many attacks per round. Aside from a few niche cases I'll go over here, which I will defend when I get to them, I don't think that's going to be the case at all. But let's get into the classes and my ideas for them, starting with the Alchemist. So I've got 3 cool ideas for what an Alchemist Mythic feat could look like. The first one being Infinite Quick Alchemy. Right off the bat, I know that sounds insane. A lot of these I am looking at a level 20 power level, that a Mythic feat on average is going to be as strong or stronger than a level 20 class feat. And Infinite Quick Alchemy is really, really good, but not quite as insane as it sounds. Remember that Quick Alchemy only lasts 6 seconds. So if you make something, you have to use it right then. Obviously, the first thing you'll jump to is, but that's infinite healing. And yes, it is. And the Exemplar got that at level 1. And the Animist got that at level 1. Infinite healing is not a problem in the game anymore. It's a feature. So I think being able to make infinite bombs or infinite this or infinite that only lasts 6 seconds without using your reagents, I think that's perfectly fine. At this massive mythic power level, being able to pull any alchemical item out of your pants at any time would be awesome. There's also the idea of just doubling your daily reagents. You know, you reach mythic levels past level 20, maybe you just have double daily reagents. You still have to use them all, you know, either on Quick Alchemy or at daily preparations, but you're gonna have everything you could ever want. You're gonna have this massive book-sized list of items you prepare every day, and that could just be fun. The final option does not increase your reagents or Quick Alchemy, but I think permanent Quick Alchemy could be a very interesting mythic upgrade. No longer does your Quick Alchemy item become inert after 6 seconds, but now you can make it and it lasts. So whenever you need something, you can pull it out of your pants. If the situation changes and you don't need it anymore, it doesn't go bad, it's no longer useless, you can still use it later that day. Those are some cool Alchemist items, really just playing with their Quick Alchemy, because I love the Quick Alchemy feature. I think that is what makes the Alchemist such a unique and cool class, so I think expounding upon that would be great. Expounding, expanding, I never know the right term to use. The Barbarian, I've got 2 different ideas for. One of them being one of those things I said Paizo's not going to do, which is just more damage. And that is the idea of a double instinct mythic feat. You're level 20, you've gotten a mythic level up, and you can now take a second Barbarian instinct. There's a lot of them. You know, there's at least 6 subclasses, maybe more of Barbarian. If you could take 2, I think it would be rad that when you rage, maybe you either get to pick which one or somehow combine them. Combine their resistances, combine their initial rage bonus feature. The only thing that I'm hesitant for is combining the rage damage, because then the right option will always be giant. You know, you will, if you're taking a double instinct mythic feat, I think taking Giant Instinct, if you don't already have it, for plus 18 to all damage forever would be too good. So there would need to be some kind of drawback. Maybe you only get the level 1 rage damage if you take double instinct. You get everything else, but you only get the level 1 bonus damage. But this could lead to some cool combinations. You know, if you are a Dragon Instinct, Spirit Instinct, Double Instinct Barbarian, maybe your attacks are now doing physical and fire and spirit damage all at the same time every single hit while raging. That'd be cool. The other idea is to add a sort of mythic option stage to each of the subclasses, calling them the Avatar of Rage, making this maybe a once per day thing you can do where you go beyond your normal rage and you become the full physical embodiment of your rage. You know, beyond dragon form, you become the avatar of dragon barbarians, whether you become a massive draconic knight, or you grow even bigger and become a colossal giant, or you become like a ghost. I don't know, I haven't thought about the details of these, but I think adding a mythic ability to each of the raging subclasses could be really cool. The Bard. The obvious one is permanent Inspire Courage, no longer having to sustain it or recast it every single turn. It is just always on unless you choose to turn it off and turn it back on like a little light switch, just permanently on. It's boring, but it's good. The other idea I think would be very much overpowered, but would feel amazing for a mythic max level Bard, and I've called it Inspire Victory. And it is a single action, which casts Inspire Competence, Inspire Courage, Inspire Defense, and upgrades them all with Inspire Heroics, all for one action. Hell, even taking the Inspire Heroics off the table, being able to use Inspire Competence, Courage, and Defense all for one action, and then use Inspire Heroics to upgrade them, I think that would be amazing on its own. So, Inspire Victory, just combining all of your different bardic inspirations into one massive buff for one action would be great, rather than having to choose between them. The champion's a little bit boring, they're a little bit hard to write feats for, which I now realize, and I kind of feel bad for sort of like bad-talking Paizo's design choice for champion feats, because they're tough, because you can't just make them fighter feats or anything like that, they have to be their own. So the 2 ideas I came up with for mythic champion feats, the first one is just infinite reactions. You know, you can use your champion reaction, you know, I should clarify, infinite reactions specifically for your champion's reaction, as many times per turn as you want. Every single time your ally or you are taking a hit based on your subclass, you are reducing damage permanently every single time. It'd be great. The other idea, and I think would be much more interesting, would be some kind of feat. I don't even have a name for it, but if an ally is adjacent to you and are the target of an attack, let them use your armor class instead of their own. I'm taking heavy inspiration from a kobold feat that my friend has made insane use for, where if you are making a saving throw as a kobold, there's an ancestry feat that if you are adjacent to an ally, you can use their saving throw bonus instead of your own. I think it would be really cool if the champion could do this with their armor class. Maybe it's a reaction, maybe it's a free action, who knows? But if you're all level 20 mythic and your 27 armor class wizard is standing next to you, the 40 armor class champion, then as long as they're adjacent, their armor class is also 40, would be awesome. The Cleric, another one that's really hard to design for, and you're going to hear this one a few times. Extra 10th level spell slots. It's easy, it's obvious, that doesn't mean it's bad, but it's worth mentioning that it's probably gonna happen. The other idea would be more domains, maybe giving them access to more focus spells, more unique abilities. I don't know, it's just an idea. The other one would be a super cool, maybe divine intervention, where your deity actually intervenes to make something happen. I guess it would probably be a little too similar to Wish, maybe, but I don't know. Cleric's hard to design for, especially most spellcasters are hard to design feats for, because the spells they can cast are already so insane at that level. Druid, same thing, extra 10th level spell slots, but I think what could be cool is maybe a feat that lets you cause a natural disaster. Now, this might be redundant, because you can already cast Summon Kaiju, which basically is a natural disaster, but being able to cause like a 20 square mile hurricane to just engulf a landscape, that'd be really, really cool. The other ideas I had were Mythic Companions, another upgrade level to companions that would apply to things like Ranger as well, that you can upgrade them past their current limits to become even more powerful, and then maybe more insane wild shape options. Maybe there is a Mythic Wild Shape feat, which upgrades all of your existing shapes. Maybe it does just give them a flat bonus, or maybe it unlocks a whole new type of creature you can wild shape into. I don't know, it's something that would have to be done with research. Maybe it just has like a list of 5 forms you can take. The fighter is boring, but that's just true, which is why they're my favorite class. I think a really fun one, which would still be in character, it does fall under the just a higher number option, but I think if fighters at a mythic level could get a permanent +2 untyped bonus to one weapon group, it would be very in character. Fighters spend the entire game being better with one type of weapon than any other, but then at max level, they're just legendary in everything. It would feel cool at a mythic level to be able to push them one step beyond legendary, and maybe they'll even add just mythic proficiency as something that can be done, which is its own +2 over anything, and only specific class mythic feats can get you mythic proficiency in things. If so, I think the fighter getting mythic proficiency, just a +2 above legendary in a weapon group, is perfect. There's also the idea of a permanent extra attack. Maybe the fighter is permanently hasted forever, and they can only use it to attack an extra time. That might already be a feat, I'm not sure. I think the most interesting one, though, would be swapping weapons is always a free action. If you want to, on your turn, pull out your longbow, shoot it. For a free action, swap to your greatsword, swing it. For a free action, swap to your spear, stab it. I think that would be amazing. That would really play into the fighter being legendary with every single weapon group in the game, so being able to attack with 3 different weapons every single turn would be awesome. The monk was another tough one, because the monk is already so detailed and deep, but yet it's already so well balanced that doing much with it is going to throw things out of whack. The ideas I came up with was maybe Flurry of Blows is now 3 attacks for 1 action instead of 2. Or maybe expand on stance fusion. Maybe there's a repeatable mythic feat that lets you keep fusing another stance into it. So if you have 5 mythic levels and you've taken this fusion feat every time, when you enter a stance, you're now in Dragon Crane, Tiger, Bear, Plumber stance. Alternatively, it would be a lot more work, but add a mythic version of each stance. Mythic Tiger, Mythic Dragon, Mythic Crane. Just upgrade what the stance already does. Maybe make them interact with the traits they give in different ways. Tiger gives the Backstabber trait. So maybe replace the Backstabber trait for Mythic Tiger with full-on 3d6 sneak attack damage. Ranger is similar. I would love to see mythic upgrades to their edges, because your precision, outwit, and Flurry edges, they all cap out at level 17, so if you reach level 20 and then can take a mythic feat, I think it would be cool to see them get another ability, you know, another damage die on precision, even lower multiple attack penalty on Flurry, even higher bonuses on outwit. Again, it's hard because this just plays into take it and be better, which we don't want to do, so it might need to be more creative than that, but I would love to see mythic upgrades to the edges. The other option is just getting an extra edge. You've been a precision ranger this whole time, now you can add Flurry or Outwit to your precision. Maybe just the level 1 version, but it'd be cool. Rogue has a lot of potential to play with. The first one, similar to the fighter's weapon proficiency, would be mythic skill proficiency, you know, being able to push something from legendary to mythic. On the other hand, I think it would be really cool to see having a mythic feat that lets you increase any skill to legendary just by taking that feat. Doesn't matter if you're untrained, doesn't matter if you're only trained. By taking this feat, you set any skill proficiency to legendary. That'd be cool. It's very much in the rogue's cup of tea. The other thing I thought about was even crazier debilitations, maybe even like a Vorpal debilitation, where if they fail their saving throw, they die. You know, it has incapacitation and whatever, but you're level 20. You know, if you sneak attack someone and they fail against your debilitating strikes, they die. That's very mythic to me. The Sorcerer is simple. Aside from extra level 10 spell slots, this is me asking for way too much. I would love a mythic focus spell for every single bloodline. A new focus spell, only obtainable by a mythic feat for every single bloodline. The nice thing is it just becomes one feat, you know, mythic bloodline spell, and that is the only way to get these unique spells, one for each bloodline, because there's like 20 bloodlines or something, so that'd be a lot of new spells, but I'd really dig it. And finally, with the Wizard. Obviously extra level 10 spell slots, but I think this next part would be hard to do, but would be one of the coolest mythic features for wizards to have. Spell creation. This might be a page-long feat, but it gives you a list of shapes and damage types and damage amounts and different parameters that you can combine to create unique spells every single day. Maybe you'll take the ray shape, combine it with the necrotic damage type, go with 2 targets, which means it does this much damage, and then you cast that. You know, it's going to be this kind of saving throw because you picked Ray. It's going to be a spell attack roll because you picked Ray. It would be very hard to write, but I think the ultimate mythic idea for a wizard would be them to be able to make their own spells at will. So, what do you think of these mythic options? Obviously, most of these that I came up with were written with level 20 plus in mind. And before you've written the comment, even though I know half of you already have, I do know that the playtest said that the game is not being designed to go past level 20. So maybe we're going to see none of this. Maybe all of this was wishful thinking for a type of direction for the game that Paizo has no intention to take them. It's very possible mythic feats are not going to be designed to make you stronger, especially at the end game. Rather, maybe mythic feats are going to be designed to be taken along the way and will make you stronger at each individual level than a non-mythic character, similar to something like free archetype, where yeah, you have more options and that does make you inherently stronger, but not directly. So I don't know, only time will tell, and when War of Immortals comes out, we will finally have our answer. So, that's it for me. I want to help you... outros are hard. You know what? No outro. Go buy some G Fuel. Nailed it.